hitting the go button. Hopefully, hopefully this means we're live. I'll just ask the chat if they can hear us. Chat, can you let us know? Are we live? I'm pretty sure we're okay, but we've had a few technical difficulties.
Wait, later. Share.
Wait and see some comments. Heard. Yep. Okay, they're confirming we're here. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, sorry for the delay, guys. We've decided to use Google Meet, and just a heads up, it may well kick us out after an hour, and then we might just have to rejoin. But you'll be able to still see my screen, so the stream shouldn't get cut off. I am fortunate enough to have with me today Kemozabi. So, Kemo, do you want to say hi? Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure.
Kemo's gonna run through some charts, I guess, right? I mean, yeah, we'll see where it goes. So, is there any way you want to start, Kemo, or?
Yeah, let's do the Bitcoin just initially, so that people that don't want to watch through the live stream get a little update, kind of what I've been reviewing on my channel and how I've been looking at it. So we will do that. Let's put this in log scale the way I like it. I pulled up a new layout for this live, so hopefully everybody can see this and it looks good. So what I'm doing is I'm currently measuring this leg, or matching this leg, projecting from the September low and projecting how high we get here. After we top out here, I'm expecting this little pullback here and then a continuation like that. So let's do some measuring with the trend-based fib extension tool. I could measure this leg up, and that was an extended fifth wave in wave 3 as per Elliott wave, and I'm projecting from the September low, and that gets us in the range of 101 before this thing stops. So maybe we pierce through 101. That's kind of my expectation at this point. The way these waves are looking, this consolidation up there is mimicking that consolidation. So expect some kind of reaction at 101. It doesn't have to, but that's my current target. And if the target hits and this leg repeats, then you should have a move down, probably back down to 84. And maybe we look for that in our, the cycle low or half cycle low for December, and then chop sideways through December, mimicking this kind of in an upwards fashion, kind of still grinding up like that. And then the target for February would line up with 154 to 207. So if you take that right in the middle, 175. And I don't know if you guys have been following along with Socrates and what he's been working on with Hyperwave and what Camel presented there. But that's a Hyperwave phase 3 target. So that would play out really nicely. So if phase 3 reaches 175, then we may have a small consolidation up there.
Wait, Kemo, sorry, Kemo. We've got they're saying the screen's gone blank. So I don't know. I don't know what's happened.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it just fine. Which is really weird.
It's gonna be fun.
They're saying the screen's gone blank. So.
I just pulled up, it just went blank. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, they're saying the chart works. They can see it now.
Okay.
Now it's gone. Bro.
This new software is just garbage that we're using.
What is happening today?
Yeah,
some people are saying it's okay, and others are saying it's gone. It was out for a sec. It's back. Apparently, it's back.
Yeah, it looks like it's back.
All right. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. Sorry, you were saying.
I think we'll keep going and keep an eye on it.
The show must go on.
So yeah, like you were saying, the hyperwave theory, the phase 3 line should get you up to 175. And then after phase 3, the price target for phase 4 should be a doubling of that, getting you up to 350. So if you measure from the very bottom, the target range, the upper target I would have is 380, just based on this pattern being the center, basically, or the median of this move up, and then this just starts accelerating upward. But I don't know that we have time to do all that. There's a possibility that we do have time to do that, but it might not work like other Bitcoin bull markets. Take a
What do you mean by
screenshot.
that?
Well, we'll definitely get into that afterwards, because I have a theory of what we're doing here. But let's just edit this. Just visualizing this as, 3 waves up to, 150 or so, 175. And we may have a consolidation through 2025, which would just be weird for, a Bitcoin acceleration phase. And then you repeat that. So then you have 1, 2, we're still in wave 3. There's your 4. This will be your 5 for Elliott wave. So that would be like a 1, 2, 3. This is 4. This is an extended 5th in wave 3, really getting you up to targets. But for this pattern to, have market symmetry, it would take all the way until October. So that would be a standard Bitcoin cycle. But the way price action moves wouldn't be like previous cycles. Usually we get a nice parabola that just goes. Still in the cards. It's just, if we want to have market symmetry, we might end up having that instead, which would be very different. So that's basically where I'm at with the corn, and now we can get into why something like that would happen. So I've been looking into the debt market quite a bit lately, and we have those yields that are pushing up. And if those yields push up, that suggests that they're overprescribing the treasuries, right?
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So if they're overprescribing the treasuries, that means the Treasury office is selling treasuries. The Federal Reserve is also offloading their balance sheet. You also have China that is kind of reducing their holdings of treasuries. India as well, probably. Japan definitely has to, because they have to protect their currency. So if we have all this selling of treasuries from everybody, and the only buyers we really have are corporations and U.S. citizens, maybe, that's probably not going to hold up. That's, the demand is not there. So we may have the debt crisis that'll unfold, that may send this Bitcoin price into, we might be marking up for that now, and then enter a distribution around 175 area as the debt crisis is unfolding. I don't know that that's good for the S&P 500 though.
Is this how we get potentially Bitcoin rallying in the face of the stock market topping?
Correct. And this is kind of what I've been looking over. I was going to make a video on this, and I was like, you know what, I'll save this for the live. I'll give something to talk about. I was looking at corporations, and they hold a lot of treasuries. Like the 20 largest companies in the U.S. hold like 30% of the U.S. debt or something like that, I was reading. But that was back in 2019. Now it could be even more. I know insurance companies hold a lot of the U.S. treasuries. Banks hold a lot of it. So, financials are definitely going to weigh on that. We can go to that XLF chart and see how our financial sector is doing. Yeah, we're we're pushing on that $50, which was the target that I was looking for. And that looks like a move that's about to complete. From here, 1, 2, 3, wave 4 comes back to wave 4 of lesser degree, and now we're going up for a wave 5. That's the way it really looks to me. Target on that using a trend-based fib extension tool just for this last fifth wave, just using basic Elliott wave principles. The target is $51. So I'm expecting a reaction around 51, just over 50 bucks. And that's basically all the banks and all the financial institutions. And if this is topping out, Warren Buffett is selling all of his bank shares. He's getting out of that. Then how's our treasury market going to do? 10-year yield. And this looks like it wants to go up. It could be a counter trend bounce where you match that leg there with an ABC. Get Elliott wave pattern there. Just an ABC just like that. But if that breaks the high, then it's likely going higher eventually. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cool. You never know with the technical difficulties. So if this government bond yield on the 10-year moves higher, that means that the 10-year actual bond is moving lower in price. And Drunkenmiller, I think he's short the treasuries. I don't know which ones in particular, but the US 10-year, not that this is a great weekly chart. It basically just chops in a range, takes the highs, takes the lows, and that's the bond market for you. But it's just in a tightening pattern right here. No telling which way it wants to break, but when it breaks, it should be pretty violent and pretty quick. I mean, based on a weekly chart, it'll probably take 5 or 6 months to play out. But I'm kind of expecting this to go down based on that high. 2020, the COVID drop in all markets, all the treasuries kind of shot up. So did you see my Professor Kemo video where I talked about every action has an equal and opposite reaction?
Yes, I did.
So we got that. And then we got an equal and opposite reaction this way. Is the all-time high in bonds going to be met with an all-time low in bonds coming soon? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is the way the charts look, it's like since the COVID drop, we're kind of making a very large ABC up in like the S&P 500. So you have your action and an equal and opposite reaction. Being equal, you just measure those 1-to-1. That gets us to a blow off top target. Let's just measure that on the line chart and see what that could look like before reversing. But yeah, the S&P 500 could have 7,365. I think that's Crypto Cobra's target if it keeps pushing up. Which it's definitely in the cards. It gives you your blow off top and then sharp rejection, and then it's gold and Bitcoin's turn to steal the show, or maybe all of crypto, maybe. And that's based on XRP's chart actually is waking up.
Yeah, I noticed. I actually, do you know the funny thing about that? It usually doesn't pump until right at the last.
Yeah.
And historically, the top of XRP and the top of Bitcoin have been very, very close. Which makes me think if it's going to keep going, then maybe that does speak to this earlier top in Bitcoin. I don't know.
I think XRP is just getting started, though.
Yeah, but when you look at its historical bull runs, it lasts like 12 weeks or something, doesn't it? That's it.
It actually lasted all through 2017. Does this have history? Oh, yeah, that's got history. Let's get some candles on there. So this definitely rallies up quickly. Started January was 2017, ended 1 year later. So that took a whole year for that rally.
Maybe we get the
No.
same. Maybe we get this big consolidation in the middle.
Well, we're done consolidating. This is breaking out. This is ready to go.
No. I mean,
that.
no. I meant maybe it pumps up a lot, then consolidates. Like you see how it did that double pump, like a big bull flag, and then another leg. Yeah, maybe that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, it's either going to play out like this, but probably not as big, or similar to the way I do my theory is you pump up, consolidate, and then pump. So you pump up to, over all-time highs, consolidate, and then really get going. I don't want to show targets on that because it could be upwards of $100, which doesn't make sense as per market cap.
Wait, I gotta see. Wait. I gotta see. Show me how you get to 100.
So you would look at this as wave 1, 2, 3. This is a consolidation wave 4. Wave 1 has to start somewhere down here. So I would take waves 1 plus 3 and have an A, B, C, D, E triangle projecting from that low. The 618 is 44 bucks, and that's basing this wave being wave 1. This could be anywhere. I mean, the most conservative I can go with it is $28, just taking wave 3 and expecting the same return. But this thing could get up to 150 bucks. I don't want to say that because I don't think it's possible, but these are markets, they do what they want. But this Elliott wave structure, like, this is something I've been tracking since, I used to be big into Elliott wave back in here and used to trade that almost exclusively. And you can see the pattern here. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your wave 3 out of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would take your low to your high in Elliott wave theory and expect a 50% retrace of just wave 3. And that's exactly where you came to. You came to the 50% retrace at the start of this triangle. And that's like perfect Elliott wave.
Mate, do you know the funniest thing about all of this is the most hated coin ever, right? This is the most polarizing. And you know me, I always say it, right? Markets move to harm the most amount of participants. Like, if this thing goes to $100, carries the entire alt season on its back. everyone else is forced to watch as the group of investors that were perceived to be the dumbest, and last cycle they were the jokes because the SEC case, and then even when it got beat, like, it only makes it up to $2 or whatever, which would be the A, B, C, D? Is that the D wave there? And then. Yeah, it just explodes. $100, ridiculous market cap. Everyone is forced to sit back and cry. I just think it would be the perfect story.
Well, it is like you can't devalue a currency versus something that everybody owns, or I mean that nobody owns. So back in 1932, when they banned gold, they couldn't devalue the dollar versus gold because they needed to own the gold so that they could, give the U.S. government can give their shitcoin to the populace so that they could mark it down. Similar to just about anything else. So, like, if they're going to mark down the currency versus Bitcoin, they're going to have to own a lot of Bitcoin, and they do. They own, a percentage. So similar mindset there. The market maker and or anybody that's invested lower, the Ripple company, they can't devalue what they own if everybody owns this. So if they own it all, if Ripple owns it all as a company, they can mark this thing up as much as they want and say, come up here and come buy it $100. I mean, my target is like 28 bucks, something like that, with a potential overperformance to 75 on some craziness. But there is a target up there over 100, which would just be bananas. But yeah, I would say all
alt seasons are all done after that, and XRP comes back to rule them all.
Oh man, I think it'll be funny. I think it'll be it'll be like that and Dogecoin that are the top two.
Yeah. So, this is something else I was thinking about. So 2017, XRP put itself on the map as like, this one's going to run, this one's got utility, whatever, and got a huge following. And what if it does come back for a final blow off? Similar to Michael Saylor and his big .com bubble that he rode and then crashed. And now he's coming back for a big finale. You know what I mean? Kind of equating the two bubbles at the same time. So if like I wanted to engineer a bubble, I would say, well, who was a good bubble manager last time? Well, this Michael Saylor had this MicroStrategy companies that just went to the moon, and he managed it pretty well. Let's hire him to just say that he's buying a bunch of Bitcoin, which he's not. He's buying the paper. And it all blows up, and he's like, well, I manage bubbles. What did you expect?
It's kind of wacky, but nothing would surprise me anymore.
Yeah.
And I think we got to look at the MicroStrategy chart at some point.
Yeah, let's pull it up now.
And also, whilst you're pulling it up, actually, I noticed that a great deal of people are like, yeah, there's no risk. There's no risk, right? Nothing bad can happen. But somebody in the comments who was very smart about this pointed out these convertible notes have to be exchangeable for either shares or cash. And if the share price tanks 90%, like you would expect to see after a hyperwave completion, then people aren't going to want the depreciated share prices. They're going to want the cash. So there is actually a much more risk here than most people are willing to entertain, and people don't even know about it. They just go, well, we can't, nothing bad can happen. So I don't know, man. But yeah, please show me what you see in the MicroStrategy chart.
Let's see what we can see. Let's see if there is a hyper. Oh, there it is. Dude, that's a hyperwave.
Before you do this, I want to give you so I have, if I did the hyperwave right, I have it complete in a hyperwave at $530 the second week of December. So I'd be interested to know if you can come up with something similar.
500. I probably could be able to come up with that at my own methods, but wow, we're in like phase 3 of the hyperwave. Just at a glance, I think you would ask Socrates and it would be the same. Let me draw a path where you'd have, this would be your phase 1 line. There's your phase 2. Now you're kind of moving up into phase 3. That could have been phase 3 right there. That makes sense. What if that's phase 3? And the top of your
but what if phase 4 is already started?
Yeah. That's what I'm just saying. So I've got a good phase 3 line there. So let's draw a trend line saying this is potentially your phase 4 line.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Done on a weekly chart. So your phase 3, this may be your phase 3 peak, which would be 268. So then your target would be over 536.
Yep.
Minimum target for a hyperwave.
And in half the time, which puts us in the second week of December, right? Yeah, which puts us in the second week of December.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. This chart, there's no risk, bro.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
Yeah, so let's just look at the daily and see if we see buy setups, sell setups. What do we got? That's moving up with that. It's going to reach its target before pulling back. Okay, now I'm in log scale, so we will try to get a measurement to see if that one is going to match that one projected from there. Yeah, 525 is the initial target before a pullback. So maybe lighten up a little bit or just watch for a reaction there. And then you may get either that's a top, which it certainly can be, or that's just the start of it, sort of. And not that I would see it moving dramatically, and it could just hold up while crypto potentially holds up. But yeah, 525 minimum target there before this thing is even stopping is kind of the way it looks.
I'm getting ready to sell. I think
Getting
anyone
ready to run for the hills.
Yeah, man. Anyone that has followed me for any length of time knows that I like to push these trades for all that is possibly worth. But I mean, this is like 12. No, this is 1,500%. I think since the core allocation at the lows.
Yeah.
That's something that you hardly ever see in a stock, and I didn't have to hold it for like 20 years to get that either. So if this thing hits that 530-ish target, then I'm definitely going to be lightening up at the very least. And particularly if we lose one of those trend lines on a weekly close, and like I think it's over. And have you seen British Hodl's target, which is a long-term target, admittedly, but it's $35,000 a share, I think.
Oh my gosh. We're right at the beginning. It's
Yeah, early stages of a melt up, bro.
oh my gosh. But this pattern matches that. This pattern matches that. So this could be completing there, and that can be a top, or you're going to repeat this whole thing over here for the duration of 2025. That assuming Bitcoin can keep up. If Bitcoin tops out at the end of the year and we experience some massive crash, we all know where that's coming from. It's coming from this hyperwave.
Yep.
I mean, the target is back down to the lows. Probably a $60 target, if I had to guess. That would be crazy.
It might even be sub 60.
Yeah, let's trend-based fib extension. I would be looking at this leg to repeat up there as your final buy setup if it comes, and if that makes it up to 550 or something like that, my stop loss goes at 248. I wouldn't be I would no longer be interested in even trying to purchase this if it falls down below 248 at the 1618 of the measurement of that leg that I'm matching. So yeah, that would probably give you a lower low close anyway, and this thing might start coming down, and I suspect that this is what gives us the bear market, kind of like what you were saying in your video 2 days ago or something like that. I think Monday's video. It just makes sense. Like the FTX was that. Who was the golden boy?
SBF.
Yeah, Bankman Fried. He was the golden boy. He was our golden boy. And now Michael Saylor is our golden boy. He's our institutional golden boy.
Yep.
I don't know what happens, but I mean, what can go wrong with convertible debt notes in a debt collapse? So yeah, this could unwind furiously, and you might have somebody like Michael Saylor doubling down, adding to a losing trade. I mean, currently it's a winner, and what we always say in trading is don't let a winner become a loser, and certainly don't add to a losing trade.
Yep.
But I can see him doing that and just blowing himself up, and then your Bitcoin becomes my Bitcoin, as per BlackRock.
Yeah, average losers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't take a genius to look at that chart and say that's not going to continue forever, right?
Well, it doesn't take a genius to look at it and say this is not going to end well.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up with BlackRock? Don't they own a lot of Bitcoin? I mean, they're going up, but they're not going parabolic. They're definitely up though, but they're not doing a micro strategies. Why is that? Don't they own just as much?
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, I didn't think of that till just now in the live. It's like This, we got a repeating pattern here, ABC. This one matched with that. Now we're repeating this leg, and then you'll have a small pullback, and that should continue. Yeah, let's measure that trend base strip extension. I've actually never looked at this chart. All right, to there, come to target just over 1,000, 1,100 bucks, maybe to 1,200 bucks. Get that target, and you get a little pullback, and then BlackRock can keep going when they own Michael Saylor's Bitcoin.
Oh man, wild times.
It can be. Who knows? But yeah, convertible debt notes. Doesn't this feel debt collapsy to you? Like it's starting to shape up like a potential debt collapse, like a sovereign debt collapse, milkshake theory, Brent Johnson.
Yeah, it's definitely giving me vibes of that.
Well, I was messaging you, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, or maybe it might have been a month ago, that silver chart along with the yields is kind of looking scary. Like the inverted yield curve has taken a very long time to play out. And maybe it suggests that indicator is sort of broken, or it's not going to play out the way we expect. And the collapse comes from debt and all these bonds. And they're trying to figure out which bonds it's going to start with, maybe. I mean, look at the TLT. I heard the TLT dropped recently. Oh yeah, that's coming down.
Everyone's been so what's the word? Eager to trade this thing.
Trade the TLT?
Yeah, I've noticed it in my comments for like over 12 months. People are like, "Can we buy TLT yet?" Like, no.
Trend-based strip extension. We measure that leg with that leg. Project from there. That leg looks like it matches, so it's not far, but it's still kind of in a downtrend. Measure this leg, projecting from there. You hit the 1-to-1. That can be complete, but you don't necessarily have an uptrend starting. What this looks like to me is the start of an accumulation range. So then I would draw my box and expect those lows to probably be taken. That's probably going to be a really good buy setup if it, consolidates here and then tanks sometime in 2025.
Yeah, I agree.
You may get a really good price on it. Is it matching what's up here? This went very large move, ABC, and then trended down. So if we end the same way, we may be having a large move down on a wick and then close back up inside here. I'd consider that a buy. If it like rejects on a weekly, just gives you a wick and bought back up, that would look like a buy. Not a buy forever though. Hold it for probably the duration of this, if I had to guess. What is that? October 18th through October 2018 to 2020, so like 2 years. Hold on to it.
Yeah, maybe less.
Yeah.
Kemo, we've had a
10-year in the yield. Okay, what was that?
Oh, sorry, I was going to say we've had a donation, so I feel obliged to read it out.
Oh, definitely.
It says, Kemozabi is about to be very, very disappointed if he pulls out in December. Now is not the time to call tops. And I assume that pertains to MicroStrategy. And my opinion is that's exactly the kind of comment you would expect to be met with during a hyperwave wave 4 completion. Do you have any comments?
Yeah. I'm about to be disappointed if he pulls out in December. Well, who pulls out, Rue?
I think that's with reference to me saying 5:30 in December for MicroStrategy.
Oh, if I was to pull out.
Yeah, or anyone.
Yeah.
I think anyone that sells.
Yeah, maybe. But if I get a downtrend, I mean, this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Like we've got a lot of new participants in the market, and as a trader, we both manage risk and we pay ourselves. So on this move up, I still have the same allocation that I had at the lows, but I was pulling profits, getting back in, pulling profits, getting back in. I'm not totally closed out of the position. I would just pull some profits and look for a reentry. Because on the 4-hour chart, you got multiple reentries. I mean, trading this whole thing here. As soon as I break a level, I'm closing some out. You come back down and you hold the higher low for the 4-hour, you buy there again. Comes up here, take off 25%. Comes back down, I bought again. Now it broke the high. I took some off. This wick down, I actually bought the bottom of that just to say, hey, maybe it goes from here. My stop loss is extremely tight on that one. So if I pull out of MicroStrategies in December or even next week, it doesn't mean I can't get back in. And this is probably where my expertise in day trading kind of helps me out. If I see a trend going, I have no problem buying a higher low. I mean, I bought this wick right there at 78,200. I think that was on a Sunday because it was a higher high, higher low. It closed up higher. I think it closed up higher when me and you were on the Watt podcast, Camel. And I was like, oh, I wanted to shave a little bit off because it broke the high. And then I'll get back in and then I'll ride it up. And then I'll get back in and then take some profits. So if MicroStrategies comes to a target of where I kind of presented, because we don't know how far it'll go, but I mean, it looks good now. And I'm sure everybody that's holding this is just like, oh, I'm never letting this go. This is going to secure my retirement. But if you measure from the 1-to-1 fib extension, from there to there, that gives me a target. So at that target, I'm expecting a reaction of some sort. And it may just be this leg down. And then it gives you another buy setup right there with a clear invalidation of the 618 of that leg, or the 1618 of that leg. And I can get back in. And I can capture the spread between 500 and 374. So I'll pay myself, get back in, ride it again. And if the wave starts to look exactly like this up top here, then I know where to kind of pick a top and where this thing is going to putter out at and call tops.
Joel in the comments makes an excellent point here. He says, if you're not satisfied with your MicroStrategy gains, I don't know what you expect this to look like. This is the best case scenario. It's already played out. And that's absolutely true. Like, you can't really ask for more than this giant parabolic blow off top, right? Like, you can't, like, if this isn't what you were hoping for out of every single trade ever, then what are you exactly expecting here, right?
A 2.5x in a matter of, weeks. What is this, September? If you got in at the lows and you held till November, that's 2 months and you've over doubled your money. If you're in from the lows and you felt good about MicroStrategies down here and you waited through all that, you're up even more.
I think it's 15x.
I mean, at a reasonable entry, 2,000%. That's like 24x.
Yeah, it's mental.
Because that's basically your entry. You got your lower high, lower low, and then from right here to here, you have a higher high. There's your higher low, and then take it up. And you got to be quick on the draw with that and not have post-traumatic stress from a downtrend. But that's your entry. And if that's your entry and you're still holding here and you're up 20x, then what more do you want? That's a great trade. If you take out your initial capital, at least you're still up 19x. And that's what everybody should be doing on their shit coins as well. But just to say, if you were to buy the breakout of this, hey, where would an entry be? Right at the break of that high for a breakout trader? Horizontal ray. Am I correct in my assessment there, Camel? That would be the breakout.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, or I drew a diagonal in the member section and caught it that way.
Oh, up there. Okay. That would be a very early entry on a risque breakout. But yeah.
That's how I like them.
I like the good rewards. So just taking that from there, you buy the breakout, and how long has this been? You've doubled your money. No, you 4x your money, right? Yeah, you're up 4x on your trade. That's crypto gains right there. That's I don't know. If you want a 100x coin, there it was, right in front of you. And we don't know that those are going to play out. This could pop up right here and back test and play out some more, but it went. And that's like the game of trading. I like to equate it to baseball, and from a movie that I saw called Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they're talking about hiring on the players, and they just want people with good batting averages, not the guys that hit the home runs. They're like, well, why do you want him? It's like, well, because he gets on base. I'm like, well, okay, why do you want this guy? Well, because he gets on base. We need guys to get on base. If you don't get on base, you're not going to score. And trading ends up being the same thing. This is how you get on base. You get on base right there, and you hit a double, or you hit a home run. This thing can go for a home run and just go up to $3,000, maybe. But you want to, take profits at getting on base. Take 25%. I always do 25%. And I found that extremely helpful years ago in becoming consistently profitable, was just taking 25% at a 1-to-1 fib extension of anything. I don't care what it is. 25% comes off. And I set that order before I even take the trade. And the P&L just goes up over time. A lot of people don't take enough profits. And they round trip. Like our Bitcoin trades lately have just been round tripping, and I'm just looking at it like, you're going to give me another entry, like this 4-hour chart just gives entries after entries, and it's annoying. Yeah, I can barely hear you, bro. I can hear you ish. I don't know if you were trying to say something.
Wait, how is this? Is this better?
I was about. No, it's about the same. I think something
Is it?
muted on my tablet phone.
So does it? Did you hear my dog barking?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, right, okay. So my mute button doesn't even work.
Yeah, you might not need it though.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is going to be the most jank live stream of all time.
Oh, we love it that way though. Raw and uncut, like all my videos. Any videos that I do, they're just raw. I'm not trying to be a streamer or professional influencer. I'm trying to teach people how to actually look for a trade setup. But yeah, this 4-hour chart just gives you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. People wanted a short, the break. Like, this wasn't a bad short, but it still came into a higher low and a higher high. And now, are we working on a higher low? Maybe I get stopped out. We will see. Somebody said something about Bitcoin dominance going higher.
I was actually just about to say the same thing.
BTC.D. Where? Oh, I've got the wrong typing there. BTC.D. Oh yeah, ripping. Well, what you expect? Bum 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 bum. The champ is here. Bum 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 bum. The champ is here. Bum, bum, bum. Dude, we've been calling this for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why this would go down.
No one wanted to believe it.
Well, yeah, because everybody's allocated to other things. Okay, so let's if you want to say maybe it's going to pause, look at these highs over here back in 2019. I could see this happening. I'm kind of expecting this, that we've had a move up and then we have some kind of consolidation. This consolidation might be your alt season before more up. I'm expecting this to continue up and break the highs, 77, maybe 85.
Man, not with $100 XRP though.
Yeah, I think that's during this consolidation phase. But you're going to have a $200,000 Bitcoin potential. I mean, this is all assuming that this hyperwave's out and it's just going to go. You could definitely achieve this if XRP is the only one to go. Sorry guys, but it would be poetic, wouldn't it? Jeez.
I think so.
But yeah, look for a range to form. Where's my horizontal ray? We'll put it down at the bottom here. I'd probably look for a range to form in here between 60, 66, 56, 51, and chop around there. And then we'll see. But this chart isn't what it used to be, though. This represents something totally different. Eric Crown Crypto pointed out something in his video. Oh, this was last week, I think it was. I was going to share the video with you, but he said that this market cap dominance of Bitcoin is going to continue up, not because altcoins are necessarily going down, but because the dilution of how many shitcoins there actually are is the problem. So the more and more that are created on Solana, on AVAX, on all the other blockchains, all the meme coins, I mean, everybody and their dog, like you say, can make a meme coin in 15 minutes. Everything is out there. So this can continue up despite what you expect whatever you're holding to do. This can go up because there's just so many, and it's really diluted, and the roulette wheel just added a whole bunch of new numbers to your your lottery tickets that you're holding, basically. And that's the way I always look at the altcoins. They're lottery tickets, and if you understand what you're holding, then you know what lottery ticket you're playing. I think it's a lot of work to look through all of those charts. I have some from back in the day that I follow, sort of, and at a glance, you could look at Solana and just be like, okay, I see where that wants to go. Solana and Coinbase, yeah, getting that pop up. That just mimics this. This popped up to there. I mean, this all matches. If this thing wants to pop up, I would measure this leg here in log scale and project from that low and get a target of 450, 500 bucks, something like that. We could draw it out.
That'd be
Matt
like
Henry is sending a super chat. Yeah, on my other device. That was the dodgy stuff that I was doing during that other podcast. I was getting another device to for this specifically. But yeah.
them really quickly. For all the people asking about Discord server, something like that is coming very soon. But I don't actually like Discord. It's given us problems today already. That's why we're on Google Meet. But something like that is coming very, very soon. I'm just working on keeping it clean and keeping the bots out, and keeping all the scammers and impersonators out of it. But something like that is coming.
So I'd look at that as a target, somewhere around 450 to 500 bucks for Solana to complete this. That would probably be complete for me, but it can certainly keep going. But that's an area where I would shave profits, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. I've got a couple of. Do you mind if I just deal with these super chats? 1 second, Kemo.
Yeah,
somebody says.
If I could read what.
Someone says, if I sell Bitcoin in Feb or March, then I'm hoping to buy in during the bear market cycle low. Do you think the price will come back to 60K during the bear market?
Personally, I think we go lower. I think we go take that liquidity down to 30K, most likely.
35, I think, would be the lowest I could see it going, but it depends how high the top forms, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't
Past
think so?
performance is not a guarantee of future results. So you'd have buyers come in. I mean, this is the same as the Solana chart. So I'd be cautious of this getting up to 120 and saying that could be complete. We'll see what kind of pullback we get. So that may be your top, but that equates to something totally different. Let's see how hyperwave theory plays out. You would have your bear market. What I would probably expect out of there is not necessarily another bull run. Say this goes to, my current target is like upwards of 350 for a hyperwave. If we get that by, say, March, I would expect the next cycle low to be an A wave. Where would we be? Somewhere right about there. And that may find support there. I'd expect this to bounce up and then back down into a more grindy cycle low, probably retesting those lows. It really depends on how things all play out. I've been kind of doing the game theory with regards to the debt market, and we can kind of visualize it here. Let me draw on this chart, and I'll explain what I mean. Similar to what I was saying is they cannot devalue the dollar unless if they have something to devalue it against. So say this runs up to, say, 300. Then right there, if you do have a bond market collapse at the peak of Bitcoin, you may have some kind of, not an outright ban, but something getting in the way of you purchasing it, whether that be the on-ramps are banned, Coinbase has to shut down, or they have new regulatory procedures because there's so many issues with the bond market that they just can't allow capital to flow out of the capital markets. So you might be locked into your retirement account. You might be locked into treasuries if you hold those. And they kind of lock you in the dollar system. So you won't be allowed to buy Bitcoin. And maybe that's what brings this down. And then other countries buy it, but then they ban it as well. So you might get an ABC, and this is just a ABC 1, 2, 3, and there we go again. But it might take longer than you expect. Another potential is that we top out soon. At the end of the year, stocks and everything tops out, and that's your wave one. Then you get a wave two. Then the really big wave comes.
That would be really big, wouldn't it?
Well, it might also throw off the cycles. I'm thinking this ABC might come down really fast and give you a weird cycle. This is the super cycle idea. I would expect it to play out like this. And then the target for this, when everybody's shaken out and potentially they ban you from owning it somewhere in here and you're not allowed to own it, then they can devalue it. Or the United States bought it all. You have to relinquish your Bitcoin. And then they can devalue the dollar versus Bitcoin. And then the target for this is like $2.6 million per Bitcoin within 3 years. It would really, really mark up really quickly. And I do have Elliott wave counts and Elliott wave theory that suggests that it is a possible target. My current target for this wave up is 333, and it has been since 2019. How it gets there, I don't know. It could be a move up like that, then back down, and then it goes. Or we go there now, get banned, rejection real hard, grab all this liquidity, and then this thing just goes because the dollar's collapsing.
You say 333,000?
Yeah.
I'm sure that is also the hyperwave target.
Yeah, it should be a hyperwave target. Hyperwave should actually get you to 350.
Yeah, damn.
That's hyperwave.
Yeah.
That's hyperwave for you, baby. But yeah, we could do a quick Elliott wave count. Somebody shared that. They were giving you kind of a hard time on your Elliott wave, that you were sharing ideas that people don't know. Elliott wave, we're sharing ideas, but anytime you share Elliott wave ideas, there's an argument to be made, up or down. And you only know after the fact, and you can definitely count it out. But I was counting this Elliott wave as, I could label it right here. I'm starting my wave 1 of wave 3 here. So that's 1, this is 2, this is 3, all of this is 4, and your wave 5 target of this should be 330 something. So I'm kind of expecting that. And that would be trend-based fib extension, measuring from that low to that high, projecting from wave 2, get through the 1.618 target of 20K, and then the 2.618 it's sitting up at 450. But these are loose measurements, and this isn't really the exchange that I use. But all of that is just wave 3. You still got wave 5 of the third wave to go. And as I explained in my videos, that wave is very, very expansive. So you would have a 1, 2, all of this is 3, retrace back to wave 4 of lesser degree. Now this either comes straight down or it takes its sweet old time into the next cycle. And then you have the 5th wave in wave 3, which would be an extended 5th wave, most likely. So you had made a video, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, talking about the 100x. And that we need to not be focused on the shit coins because you're going to miss the 100x.
Yep.
And people think, you think 100x. Yes, I'm pretty confident actually 100x based on many factors, as long as this thing, the mining facilities stay good and the price stays, I think it has to stay probably above 10K. You can go down there on a wick really quickly, but closing price, not too many weeks below 30. And yeah, 100x from there. I mean, it should take over. It should totally dominate. That'll be your safe haven. And I think it probably is going to start proving itself within the next year, that people are going to see the safe haven that is Bitcoin is a safe haven from the collapse of our current financial system. Whereas gold should do pretty well, but you're going to want something outside the system. And if Bitcoin does push up to higher targets, it's going to be seen as a safe haven. If the S&P 500 is moving down while debt markets are having a hard time or they're wobbly, then you flood into Bitcoin, and then you get banned. So yeah, expect to have a difficult time getting back into Bitcoin, I would think, if you do sell your Bitcoin. Never a recommendation to sell your Bitcoin. Donald Trump said it. You don't sell.
Did he say that?
He did.
I didn't know that.
Rule number 1, you don't sell your Bitcoin. We all know that. He's such a crowd pleaser, isn't he?
Yep, he said that. I did watch. Maybe I missed it, but I did watch that speech he did at the Bitcoin conference, and he just seemed to. Somebody gave him a list of everything that crowd wanted to hear, and that's what he said.
Yeah, that's all rehearsed. We're all living in a simulation. We know that.
100%, brother. Thank you to Matt Hendry for the $10 and your 5th super chat to the stream.
Has he got more questions?
Nope, just a $10 donation.
Nice. Oh, we got 600 people in here. I can't keep up with the chat and the charts.
I try not to read too much of it because I think it interrupts the conversation. But
what kind of Elliott wave theory charting is this guy doing? That's not how this works. I can assure you, my friend Ryan, this is totally how it works. I've studied Elliott wave for, I'm on 10 years probably on it now. I've evolved from it, and I don't necessarily trade it as much, but I understand the setups, and I understand how to count the waves and how they should measure and where the retracements should be. And that's actually what gave the Bitcoin setup on the daily. I was looking for, hey, you have wave 4 that generally retraces to the 382 and ultimately the 0.5, and that was perfect. That was a perfect retrace in linear scale. If we take just fib retracement of wave 3, 0.5 fib, perfect touch, that's where you expect wave 4 to come back down to. In an extended fifth wave like that, you expect just that extended fifth wave to retrace to the 618 minimum, and we got that. We got the 702. So 1, 2, 3, 4, extended fifth in wave 3, wave 4 consolidation, now pushing up for wave 5. Your wave 5 target should be the measurement of waves 1 plus 3, and you target the 618 initially and upwards of the 1.618. So we blasted past the 618. That's a good sign, suggesting continuation to the 1-to-1 to the 1272 before it stops. But ultimately, beyond the 1618 would be a very expansive wave 5. And that could mean that this is wave 1, 2, this is wave 3, 4, and this is your extended fifth wave in the third wave. And then you still have one more push up thereafter. So yeah, I do get Elliott wave, and I see a lot of people that don't trade it appropriately, but they know how to count. Like Credible Crypto, he's got great counts. He really he understands it better than I do, because I gave up on it.
We got a question from Drizzle that says, "Can you check Coinbase, please?"
Ooh, I did want to check Conbase. We call it Conbase here. They're Con.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, look at that chart. Lug scale. All right. Anytime I analyze a chart that I haven't seen before, I start off with the weekly. And what do we have on the weekly? Higher, high, higher, low. This one closed a lower low there, but now you closed a higher high. So now you can resume the trend. And we'll just take some trend-based fib extension measurements and log scale. Yeah, same difference here. Now this is just really quick basic Elliott wave on a weekly scale. 1, 2, this is wave 3, again wave 4, but you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 4 came back down to wave 4 of lesser degree. Expect your wave 5 target to be 654. And see if you have any divergences on a weekly to play with, because that may be a target to take profit. I think your target could be wave 1, 404 to the 532 area might be an area to watch for a rejection. That would be a very shortened wave 5. But if it pushes up into the extended territory, I would measure from, let's delete that now. I would measure waves 1 plus 3 and probably expect minimum 570, but upwards of 1300 if it wants to get crazy. I'd take profits of 570. So it still looks good. No kidding.
Yeah, a lot higher. But mind you, having said that, it's already almost at my target. My target was like 440, but I mean we're practically there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's minimum. That's a very conservative target, but yeah, that could work. As per my method, I just match that leg and you're just projecting that leg up. Watch for a reaction there for sure. That's not a good sign if that happens. If it does react, that would probably mean Bitcoin's done if it comes back down. But here's your box. And you did a spring. Now you're above the range. As long as you're up above this consolidation, it's bullish. If you start closing weekly candles back inside that, it's done for most likely. because that's kind of the way Wyckoff method works. In a reaccumulation formation, you have a show of strength and you want to hold above the range. There's no reason to come back into the range because the market makers did their business, and their business should be concluded if they are to continue the markup phase. So if you see on a weekly scale a weekly closure back below 250, then this one I would expect to take these liquidities down here at $100. Something like that. How's that for coin base?
I think that should probably cover it. I've got another question that's just come in a funky currency. I'm not even sure what that is. MYR.
ETH for Sol Kirkland. Ray. Looking at an allocation of that. So you want ETH BTC versus Sol. How would I even do that? Okay, yeah. No, it'd be Sol USD, which versus okay, Sol BTC, correct. Well, it's versus. Oh my god, dude, that's horrible. Don't make fun. Oh, that's painful. I hate charts that look like this. Rectangle. I mean, it's for now it's a dead chart until you get back into the box. On a weekly, yeah, we're on the weekly chart. Let's draw some ideas of what it kind of looks like locally. I would match this leg with this leg. Now you're pushing down for that leg. So expect some kind of pop back up like that. And then one final flush to match the pattern. And then expect this to kind of retrace back up. And that'll be like an ABC, and then continue pushing it down, most likely. I mean, how do you even trade that? You're trimming some kind of allocation and stuff. Oh, just check ETH BTC and Sol BTC. Well, everything's crap versus BTC.
Against BTC. That looks absolutely horrible.
Just underneath that, ETH BTC, go. Oh. Yeah, I see exactly where I would target for this.
Proof of stake, bro.
Vector from here. This is the box I'd be looking for. Yeah, right there. Draw a little box. And that's a bounce zone to just complete this leg, this final leg down. Well, the one that it's currently working on. And then you bounce. If you bounce, I wouldn't trade this chart. Like just looking at the chart, you kind of have to trade the trend here. I mean, that's not really an ABC. It could be. Do I expect this thing to melt faces? Not at all. We're at the 1618. I expect probably the 200 fib extension in log scale. Take out this liquidity over here is the way I would look at this chart. And then from there, you're really fighting against the trend. You have to close a higher high before I would touch this, even consider touching this chart, unfortunately.
By then, though, why would we even see a higher high, right?
Yeah,
This looks
what's the catalyst?
Maybe I'm super bearish towards the lows, but this looks to me like we're seeing it die a death of 1,000 cuts in real time.
Well, the Ethereum founders need to quit dumping it.
Yep. And people are just using Solana to build the stuff on top of now, right? They're just all the meme coin super cycle stuff is going on top of Solana.
Yeah. Ugh. But you'd have a counter trend bounce from that leg up there, from this leg. So there would be a face melting rip and then come back down to the lows again. Or I mean, this thing's just going like really, really low, and Bitcoin is really taking over. Which why wouldn't it? Who's allocating to Ethereum? And it's kind of like the U.S. Treasuries that I was talking about earlier. Everybody's selling it. Ethereum Foundation, they're selling it. Anybody who wants to buy Bitcoin, they're selling it. So who's holding it? I'm really surprised that Ethereum didn't do as well as I thought it would originally, because I had a target of like no, it was 10,000, 9 or 10,000 like 6 months ago, and it broke the setup. We could just look right at ETH. Let's check out ETH. Yeah, Sol looks like it's going up quite a bit. Did this change? I haven't even looked at this chart in a while, because the way I'm looking at it now, not to say it's not going to rally, because you have exit liquidity, but I'm less focused on this chart than others. But I'm kind of looking at this as my 3-wave there. And then you get this red leg is what transpired here. And that leg. And this is your exit pump. Like almost 5K. It might tag the all-time highs again. And then repeat this leg. Down to 550. Fill in these gaps right here. Take all this liquidity. That would be the next bear market low. And then maybe it'll do well. Maybe they fix something with it and they actually release what they actually going to do with it in the future, or their issuance schedule gets released. All the stuff we like to see with our money.
Nah, they're never gonna do that.
Nah, it was the biggest pump and dump.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unfortunately,
I don't know.
It served its purpose though. It got things going initially. But yeah, I expected this to just continue until this broke down here. And then my patterns no longer matched. And I was like, okay, this isn't matching that. This doesn't really match this anymore. So I'm not expecting the big push up. Can it do it? Yeah, it can. But I don't have a trade set up to do it until, say, this breaks above 36, probably $3,600. I would say that maybe it's got a chance, because then you're taking this liquidity. So I'd probably trade it up to there and see if it pushes all-time high. But yeah, I'm more looking at that XRP chart than anything else, because of the Elliott wave setup. It's textbook perfect Elliott wave.
Even Litecoin started to move now, by the way. Have you seen this? I saw a chart, I think it was Tony the Bull put it out. Litecoin started to move higher. I was like, oh man, we're doing 2017 again.
Yeah. And that's kind of my expectation. It's going to be similar to 2017, because 2021 was not a wave 5. That was part of the correction. Like I was saying on the Bitcoin chart, my overall count on this was a continuation of the correction of 2018 to make this an A, B, C. And they look right and they time out perfectly. This downward move lasted exactly 1 year to the day. This downward move right here lasted 1 year. I think it missed it by a day. So it was like 365 days, and the other one was 364 or something like that. It's perfect, and it resets sentiment. It's still a running flat. Inside of here, you have an A, B, C. You have 5 waves in C. Looks perfect. But nobody likes that count. I don't know why. Get you a higher target. And there's so many ways to get to 300 here. Yeah, we looked. Yeah. But locally, so I think we need to make it to 120. And I think the pullback that we're going to receive, I said on a daily, this is kind of what's going to define what it looks like. Because we have talked about this before, like where do you expect it to go? I was originally matching this consolidation with this consolidation and expecting this leg because of how long this took. If that is the case, your target should be about 120 to 128, and it should arrive early January. And the way I would see that coming is if this tops out somewhere before 100K and back tests 70, then you'd be matching this leg over here. So if that leg matches, that would be a buy, but it would tell me to expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from there. Just a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this whole move looks complete to me, and I'd expect lower liquidities. The timing is not perfect. It gives you kind of an early cycle. It also leaves a lot of bag holders because they would have to count that as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're about to really go to 500, which, yeah, maybe I would have to jump back in. It would be a rip, roar, and rally, and I'm cool with that. But I would definitely be cautious if it comes and back tests 70. I'd be cautious at 125, something like that. It would look like a completed move, and then a lot of bag holders, and then shoot down, grabbing all the liquidity. Bitcoin's a scam again. Have you noticed in the past 3 weeks, nothing but bullish news on Bitcoin? Like it's bullish. It's nothing but up. Everybody wants to buy it now. And it's like, okay, well, where were you in this last little part of the summer? Where was all the good news there? Because I hope people are realizing it, that you're fed the narrative that suits their needs in order to accumulate when they want to accumulate and sell to you when they want to sell to you. They own the media and they make money, and then they pay the media with the money they made off of you. So always be cautious, always be diligent with regards to trading financial markets. It's all a scam. Yeah, but it's my scam. And that makes it okay. And also watch 2 o'clock. 2:45, we peaked there. This one was 4 o'clock. This peak was 2 o'clock, 2:30. This one peaked. And this one was 11 o'clock. So we'll see if we get a push up into 2 or 3 o'clock, or down she goes. I wouldn't mind getting this consolidation to repeat. And you got an A, B, C, B. So that's that matching that leg with the current leg up. And then watch for this consolidation pattern. If that comes into the 22nd or so, that would be a buy at liquidity, and expect this leg to repeat. That would be an excellent trade.
Cool. I'm still learning. People are telling me this mute button works for them, but not for you.
They say they want to mute me.
No. The mute button, when I press it, turns my voice off for the people watching. So I think when the dog barked earlier on, you could hear the dog bark, but apparently I don't think the stream could, if this theory is right. But
Yeah.
have we done the gold chart? Have we done the S&P chart? Have we done... Do you want to do any...
We have not done the good old gold chart. Damn, this is 30. So the S&P 500, we definitely need to get to that because I'm seeing the buy setting up. What am I doing here? I need to go time frame. Beautiful leg down. Just seeing an A, B, C, this leg down, matching that, expecting this push up. I think you may have had it right there. You did take liquidity. Unfortunately, what I don't like about it is you did close a lower low. So this is where you would expect a lower high, somewhere at around 227.17. But you're breaking out. Is it ready to go again?
I say no.
When's the cycle low?
Well, I mean, there's an outside chance that's the weekly cycle low there. That's definitely a daily cycle low. But I expect this to roll over and print one more lower low into a weekly cycle low. That's what I think is going to happen.
And what's the timing for that?
It will be around 22 to 30 days after whatever that low is there.
All right. Trend-based fib time. Measure this correction there. Would it be in January? Because that would just measure this correction. This sharp move down mixed with this sharp move down. Now we're popping up for that one. And then we consolidate tightly in here and break out again. So yeah, I would watch that. Watch a breakout of the breakout.
Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, well, I'm measuring this consolidation and then just acting as though this is the same thing going on here. So we measure the timing, trend-based fib time. I'll just measure how long this correction took. Doesn't matter how long it was, but projected from the top would tell you that you'd buy early 2025, the 9th of January. Would that work?
Yeah, that would need one more daily cycle beyond the one I just mentioned, I think, but it is possible.
Yeah. Other than that, you'd be doing this one, which would be more extensive. But this doesn't look complete to me. This looks like it's got another move up.
Yeah, I think it just needs to. Have you got a scenario where this is like we've seen A, it's working on B, then C's to come? That will be the weekly cycle low, and then it moves up again.
And let's draw it out. And edit. So just at a glance, we got ABC. And then correction. $2,900 to 31.
Yeah, that'll work.
And then repeat this leg during the early portions of 2025, during the uncertainty of the debt market,
Deflation.
when they put in the debt ceiling. So that would be when the debt ceiling is going to start, sometime early January. So maybe you get an exit liquidity and then grind down. That would make sense. We'll save that one. But yeah, bullish chart. I mean, like I was telling you on the monthly, or I think I had it in my video on the monthly, the the graciously titled 2025 is the RSI is so strong on this. And last time the RSI was this strong was, I think it was here back in 06. And that was only only halfway through the move up. So that's likely what we're at. We're at somewhere in the halfway of the move up. You should get a pen and paper and write down all the requests you're getting. And look at Riot and Mara, which is probably a good idea because you guys like to trade those.
You're more on top of him than I am.
What, Mara or the chat?
Oh no, the chat. I mean,
yeah, this is this is going. This good old S&P 500. I mean, I was thinking that we're topping, and on a weekly chart, I'm currently tracking the first leg of the rally, measuring there to there, projecting from the closing low, and we're right at target. like initial target, the 1-to-1. But anywhere inside this box is good. Invalidation for a sell setup is 65. So the way that I would put it is in this general vicinity between 6,000 and 6,200 is where I would look for the reaction or look for a trend change. So from here, I would need to see a weekly close lower low. Then I would sell the lower high and see what the market gives. If I get stopped out, then rinse and repeat, try it again. But it's somewhere in this area, I'd be looking for a rejection, unless if it just decides to go Superman up there. But like I was talking about the debt market, these S&P 500 companies, they do own the debt. So that's how this tops out a month or two before Bitcoin does, or maybe way sooner. Bitcoin can just super cycle its way out up to $1 million. I've been hearing projections of that now. Mara. Huh. Mara didn't move yet. That looks like it's got another low to go. Just at a glance, I'm just looking at it.
I'm wondering if that gap's going to get filled. Oh, there's a gap on the daily. I'm not sure. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so I was just looking at that. Seeing this structure down, that's complete. And you have a change in behavior. This is doing something different. Let's see if there's much price behavior. Move down, move down. Inverse head and shoulders target of $1,200. Good luck with that. Okay. Da, 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 da. I'm just looking for matching patterns at a glance, guys. So let's go on the daily chart. That's just at ABC right there. That matches just fine. I mean, what stands out to me, come on. No. Screw off. I wish this thing would just take its own dang screenshot. Come on. So I don't have to do it every time. I mean, low-hanging fruit, that's your ABC. I'd expect this leg down. Just to repeat something like that. And take this liquidity right there. And that'll complete your bull flag. And then probably expect this leg to pop up to 55. That looks like a decent trade setup, as long as it gets back inside the consolidation after taking liquidity. So you definitely want to see liquidity taken in lows. It's definitely done it a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding. But this pattern coming out of here doesn't resemble anything but maybe that ABC. But yeah, retest of the lows. Maybe we'll get a Bitcoin cycle low early December, a half cycle low early December, and it just goes down to here. And then you get that rip roar and move to 55. And I would close out at 55 because then you get the back test and then repeat that. Let's check Riot.
I see some absurdly high targets for this one. I don't agree with them, but I'll be interested to see what you come up with here.
With Riot?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's complete. That's doing that. That's doing that. I'm just doing these blind 618 perfect retest on that golden zone. Have a little bit of liquidity down there. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, the move down can be complete. Okay, simple. Let's take it from here to there to there. And I'll show you the way I'm kind of looking at it if this wants to stay bullish. You guys in this in the member section? You guys get in this already?
Yeah.
So I would match this leg up with this currently. Expect this chop. Your target is 44, if I had to guess.
Okay,
You'd
that
have
sounds
an 80
reasonable. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
ABC, right up to 44.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, take some profits there, and it can keep running.
I see some Elliott wave counts that have it to about 120 and some to 90.
Yeah, 120 before it stops. And
Yeah.
that would be my next target. If you break out 44 or something like that and reject and start selling off like this previous leg, I'd expect more down. But if you hold tight up there for a while, then yeah, I'd probably push it upwards of 140 before it stops, and then probably 250. But I mean, you're talking the previous highs at 70, 80 bucks. That's often what happens in a wave 3. So just think horizontal line right there. So just think what happens after you break the all-time high. You consolidate, just like Bitcoin did. So if this does come up for a wave 3, you take out the all-time high, and then you just consolidate for a while, and then see what the market gives thereafter. So take some profits at 44, probably close out half, see if the rest pushes, take some more off at 121, and see if you can get a reasonable consolidation for another breakout. But I mean, you'd have this bull market lasting until 2028 with this thing. I don't see it, but hey,
Me either.
the chart will tell us if this thing makes 121 in the next 6 months or so. Then yeah, this might continue the bull market in cryptocurrencies and whatnot and have a super cycle. It's possible, but we'll have to track it in real time. Dun, dun, dun. And just look at its behavior before. It's just pop.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of expecting here. Pop 40, 50 bucks and then we'll see.
Let's see that. Like one, it made the 200. It made the 200 fib extension there. This is all we can really do with charts is like, how did they behave before? That one made the 1618 and topped. So, I mean, this one could be just a 1618 and top. So it would have to hold after hitting a 200 fib extension. I mean, that's blow off. If it's up here, get out of the market. What the heck? I mean, crazy targets. But like as a trader, I would already have this order set at the 1-to-1 fib extension, 40 bucks, take 25%. So I get something for my troubles of setting up the trade and see if the rest goes if you're really bullish on it. But if you start closing lower lows and lower highs and you're starting to have a distribution going on similar to what this looks like a shoot down, closing, change in structure, if you will, and then just continue to grind down, you're coming back down. And BlackRock is trying to buy this one up cheap, is what I would think. Trying to buy some miners.
They already own quite a lot of it, I
4-hour
think.
and daily on the Coinbase. Why would we look at the Coinbase on the 4-hour and daily? Is that a decent chart to look at? It's gappy, isn't it? I guess it's not bad.
We did Coinbase already, right?
Yeah, I think I had that on there already. On the 4-hour. So I don't like Coinbase below 270, whatever that low is. You might undercut it again. But if it closes down there, I don't like it on a 4-hour chart. And you're already closing a lower high than that. Still got 2 hours left in the day, so hopefully this turns around and closes a higher high. If you start to see Coinbase grinding up like this up here, you might be topping up at like 375. If it's slowly meandering up and not really making progress, you may consider this to be the matching leg. And there's your A, B, C, and then grindy on a 4-hour scale.
That might give me my 440.
Give it a what?
That might give me my 440 target.
Yeah, and a little pop. Yeah, that might be all you get too. I don't know. I think we're heading into some really weird times. So I mean, we have projections of where the charts can potentially go, but those could be blown out the water real quick. They can underperform. That's usually what our targets do. They either overperform or underperform. I don't think we ever. I mean, we take profits at our targets, but they don't have to reach that number and stop on a dime. I was talking to somebody last week about picking tops and bottoms, and in my, I'm probably 12 years now of doing this. I don't think I've picked a top more than once, the exact top, like within $10, and I don't think I've picked the exact bottom more than twice. In taking 100,000 trades, I don't even know how many trades, countless trades. You're not going to pick the top. You're not going to pick the bottom. Be happy with your profits is kind of the moral of the story there, and get after the meat of the move. You have your trade set up. You take your trade setup, you take your profits, and pay yourself for your time. And you can do this all the way down to the 1 minute chart if you got a decent chart that's moving. Not recommended, but if you know what you're doing, one person gets a top, the other person gets a bottom.
I was just thinking, I don't think I've ever done it.
Well, the mentor guy that taught me day trading, he was like, "Why are you trying to pick tops and bottoms?" I was like, "So I can, so I can get the move." And he's like, "Let it bottom first. Why you got to pick the bottom and pick the top? That's a fool's game. Like, it'll keep bottoming, and tops will keep topping. So don't try to pick tops and bottom. Just go with the flow." QT, or quantitative easing for the next cycle. Somebody had posted in there, and I think somebody posted that on Twitter as well. Like, talk about the QE in the upcoming cycle.
Yep.
And the lack thereof. We have the quiet QE. I mean, I don't know what you were calling it, but it's not out in the open.
Stealth
but it's there.
QE.
Stealth QE, yeah. So it's very stealthy, but like that's not. It's almost like saying this is not the bull run you're looking for. Like, Bitcoin's had a very nice move. You're up 5x from the lows, something like that. 5, 10. How far are we up now?
About 5x, I think.
Yeah, so say it's like 5x from the lows. Very decent move. Life changing for some. But is this the bull run you're looking for? And that goes with the potential for Bitcoin to just be in its first wave of the fifth for this whole cycle. And the cycle could be cut short. And we're just doing wave one of the fifth wave. That'll be an extended fifth wave. The way that everything's kind of been acting, it's very similar to 2019. How only Bitcoin's really running. You got a few shitcoins that'll overperform, but nothing major. And the economic backdrop is very similar to this grindy area. This one did not pop up and break the high. This one did. So, maybe we make target, and this is just wave one. And then out of that comes the next cycle low, and you get the 100x from there. And that's the actual bull run you're looking for. That's where things can be very transformative for people. I mean, I'm sure, I think I was listening to your last podcast with CPM, and you're like, I was buying heavily in 2018, 2019, and this, helps you get that extra step up where it's like, okay, everything's taken care of now. I don't have to worry. And that's kind of what I did. I busted my ass from it must have been around here, probably August 2018, because I didn't buy any of that. I watched that thing run, and I'm just like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, same here, actually. Exactly the same here. I watched the whole thing unfold, and I was like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, knowing what I know now, I would have been all up in there. Every little dip, I would have just sliced that thing up like a ninja now. But yeah, I was just getting into studying markets real heavily then. Had a little money here and there, not real trading. But here's where I became real serious, and I really started to look at all of the concepts of investing and trading. And then I was just seeing this as an accumulation range, and I'm like, okay, I've got limited time to get everything I can into the markets. Like initially starting back in, I don't know, like probably 2016 or something like that, I started allocating and learning here and there, but not too seriously, until I saw this as like a wake-up call. Like, okay, this can be done. Okay, what are we doing here? And then I decided this is a reaccumulation formation for another push higher. And shoot, I was good. Going halfway up here, I was good. I was like, sweet, things are taken care of now. And they overperformed. So cool. Happy days, as we say.
Someone just gifted $50. like, thank you. That's far too kind, far too generous.
This is amaze balls.
I know. Do you know what this? It's not that I'm ungrateful by any means, but it makes me even more nervous that we're close to a top, right? It's like, did you ever see that Hugh Hendry thing about how one of his colleagues or something went to Japan during the huge Japanese stock market boom? And one of the things that made them the most concerned was they were looking at the cigarettes on the floor, on the streets, and people weren't finishing their cigarettes. They were only smoking like half and throwing it away. And they took that as a sign that everyone was too rich. They were doing too well. They didn't even need to finish their cig, you know.
Wow.
And it reminds me of this. People are like, hey man, have $50. Like you can donate like one, I think, or two as the minimum. So yeah, I'm super grateful for the 50. Thank you. The question is, please, can you take a look at? Oh, you can see, right? GP, HOF, penny stock, and SWE, the shite coin.
GP Hall. Graphite 1. Penny stocks. This is right up your alley.
Yeah.
This is your game right here. Pop. That's, I mean, on a 3-day chart, you can see it clear as day. For me, anyway, that's reaccumulating currently where it's at. Wonder if you can get when you trade these penny stocks, can you get a stop loss on these?
Yeah.
Graphite 1, OTC. That's an OTC.
Oh, maybe not an OTC.
Yeah, so I would just measure that leg, project from that leg, and expect this to match. You are in the accumulation range. Anything that dips below here, you can buy, but I don't like it at 23 cents. 23 cents, I don't like it anymore. To trade this appropriately, you might want to wait for it to pop up, but it's a penny stock, so it might melt your face off pretty quickly. On a daily chart, you do have a higher high-low. You have some kind of accumulation here, pop up, you grab liquidity. No, it still looks like it's going to come and tag the low. It looks like it wants more liquidity. Draw a trend line on those lows. And take that one off of there, trend-based fib extension. Yeah, I'd look at 41 cents, allocate a little bit. If it goes down to 37, I wouldn't like it as much, but it can wick down there. Who the heck trades these anyway?
That's a good question. DG does, apparently.
Yeah, below 36, I don't like it. Maybe this trend line gets hit. This white trend line gets hit one more time, and that would be your ABC down, and then complete, and then pop up for 90 cents to $1. That might be a great trade just for liquidity to liquidity. You know, you might pop this leg up or something like that and then come all the way back down, back test the low again. So it might be a pump and dump and then pump. But yeah, somebody made profit on this. This type of structure, when you see this is somebody strategically selling at the highest possible price. So whoever bought lower, that's where they entered distribution. That's your whale. He sold this thing down, but that doesn't mean it can't pop up. Yeah, but the formation, if it does want to hold, that's where it would be. But yeah, usually these type of formations, this is repeated selling, very slow and methodical to not, you know, dump the price too much, so you get maximum price for your asset, and you don't spook the market. So they're always buying dips, and that's kind of the way markets usually work. You'll see that in S&P 500 or any stocks that you look at. They want you to buy the pullbacks as they're unloading them. You can tell. Yeah, we can go to Bitcoin. I mean, I know that chart like the back of my hand. So back in 2021, I mean, they were selling all in these wicks, even though there were sharp pullbacks. There's a lot of selling going on in there, so that they could bring it down here, and then slowly pushing whoever the heck was entering the market during this whole time. They were slowly forcing them out before popping it up. And then this was, I actually witnessed this in real time as a distribution, because I saw the wicks come down like that on a daily. That was a wick that came down and popped right back up. And I just saw that as like somebody's unloading some real size up here. Didn't confirm it as distribution until it broke the low, until you close the lower low on a weekly. I think I got out at the 8-hour order block from memory. And these are just little things you look at as a trader and day trader. Little exit spots way up at the top. I had this as an 8-hour order block because this engulfing candle went down, so I immediately marked that off and said, if you need to get out, that's your exit. And posted that. I could probably pull up the message in Discord back then. Said, there's your exit. If you ended up buying these dips, take some, because that's a very nice sell setup. But I was looking to buy any pullback. I wanted this one to be the liquidity grab, and here we go. Stop me out. Yeah. Suey.
Guys, I was on mute.
Were you on mute that whole time?
This is going to be the worst stream ever. I'm going to have to... I'll pay for a premium one, man. We've been doing this long enough.
Take those super chats and pay for the premium. There you go.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have the...
There you go, growing the channel.
Yeah, there you go, reinvestment. So I was saying, thank you to DG for the donation. We're going to pull up that sweet chart now. We're closing in on 2 hours, so we are going to end the stream soon. And then we've got another $20 from Dave, who says thank you very much, and thank you to everyone that's been here as well. So yeah, we will we'll invest this money in a professional streaming platform. And Kemo, if you could take us through the sweet chart, that'd be awesome. Is it sweet?
Yeah, this is that. For me, that's how to take profit right away. Just hold it up. I mean, it looks complete. That doesn't mean it doesn't keep going. It can certainly keep going. But if you're in from lower, this is definitely a place that me as a trader, I'm definitely taking some off. But yeah, just match that leg with that leg. This one measures to the 1-to-1. So it's perfect. That's a perfect measurement. How do you know that it's done? Well, we don't know that it's done because this can be repeating like this, and you're going all the way up to here before repeating this leg here. So if you take off 25% and you're still making higher highs, higher lows, you could throw it back in and set your stop loss accordingly. You know, maybe it keeps pushing, maybe it doesn't. We never know where they're going to go. We just, like I always say, pay yourselves. I preach that all the time. It's like we don't have the crystal. Well, we have crystal balls, but they're cloudy. They're real cloudy.
Yeah, for sure,
So,
for sure.
so like if this does get up to $6 from there, happy days. And then you just take your time with it and you're patient, wait for that to happen, get back in, and then ride that last wave up to $12. That's still a doubler or maybe 3x your money. Right here, your risk is this liquidity versus this. I mean, you're 50-50. That's a coins flip. I don't like those odds, so that's why I'm very adamant about pay yourself. Give yourself something for your time of holding this, because that can be complete. I mean, some people might count that as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's totally plausible. Yeah, there's several ways to count that, but yeah, it's had a strong move. It's already up 3x in just this month. Oh my goodness.
We're getting to that
Yeah.
wild place in the markets, right? We're getting to
Yeah.
the crazy stuff happens right before it all comes down.
Okay, well, dude, let's go on this might tell you on a daily chart. Yeah. The daily chart technically still higher highs and higher lows there. So what if this leg is matching that? And then you have one more pop up. If I was to see that, yeah, I'd set some 25% of my stake and get out of that up there. I'm so glad that I don't do these poop coins on my channel. Basically, the only reason I'm doing anything on my channel is just 'cause so many people don't understand what they're doing in markets. And there's a way to read these. There's a way to enter. There's a way to exit. So this part of the move looks complete to me. So now work on this. Down here, re-entry there if you want. Stop loss probably has to go way down here, which I don't like. But it's just going to pop up for one more move up to, 425, 450 if it does want to complete that move. This move can be totally complete and it's done. We could measure this leg. No, I can give you the trade setup here. Let's just measure it appropriately. Trend-based fib extension, assuming that it kind of boils down from here. On a daily scale, my invalidation would be $3.03 on a closing basis for sure. This one likes to wick though, so maybe this wick above it holds. But I'd look to enter probably between $3.17 to $3.29, and I would close that out at a break of the highs. So invalidation, $3.03. If it ends up just being a wick and no daily closures below that, and you start to close higher highs, higher lows, whatever that liquidity grab was is your stop loss. If it does wick you out, you can try to re-enter, but don't try too many times. I have a limit on re-entering trades 3 times a charm, and after that, you're trading the wrong direction.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Shout out to Crypto Cobra. Thank you very much, brother, for the €10. Kemo, can we take a quick look at Nvidia because apparently they've got earnings today?
Oh, that's right. Do you remember I think it was the second live stream we did where I called that peak to the day? I think I was 2 days off, calling it like 2 months in advance. Like, look, I think I said the 17th of June, look for 140-ish.
Yep.
And it was bang on, but now it's moving beyond there. Is that fine? Yeah, that doesn't invalidate the fact that this is a sell. I think it's a sell. Just like we're always saying, like, well, that I'm always saying definitely is pay yourself. I've got a friend of mine that's in this. He may actually be listening right now, and I'm telling him to get out of this and take some profits. But theoretically, if this thing wants to push, pop up to 184, buy some puts. I'd look for puts to be really cheap if it does pop up like that. Yeah, you're just doing this move. Pop, pop, pop. Buy some puts because this is run a lot. And if you're up that big on your position that you don't want to sell it, you probably should sell it. We all have our methods for the telltale sign that, like you once said that you tell your wife, like, as soon as I'm showing you my P&L, just tell me close the trade because it's time.
Yeah. That's the rule.
My method is, as soon as I look at the trade and both of my arms go straight up in the air, just like, it's like, crap, it's time to close.
Oh no, we're getting bot attacked, Kemo.
Smells like a gem. Please pull up the chart. Oh, Malstroy ETH, keep calm, strong, and become rich. Malstroy ETH, the gem.
Bro,
I'm totally not a scam.
we are, yeah, man. We're under attack here.
Well, maybe it's about that time.
We need to call in reinforcements. Well, thank you to everyone that's not a spammer or a bot.
There's not much.
Massive thank you to you, Kemo. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and showing us a few things. I've put the links to your socials and your YouTube and stuff in the description, and I'll put it in the pinned comment as well for the replay crew.
Yeah, check it out. I've been tracking I mainly just track Bitcoin because I don't want to do a bunch of altcoins and stuff like that. I mainly want to teach how to enter trades and how to look at the chart. So yeah, I've been tracking the Bitcoin wave all the way since August and finding entries and take profits along the way. So yeah, follow along to see what I'm doing and see what things look like.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to have to try and sort these bots out, apparently. But yeah, thanks again, and we will speak soon, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll do some more recaps on the bond market videos and ideas that I have. So
Okay, looking forward to it.
great time.
Okay. All right, thanks, Kemo. Speak soon, brother.
Later.
Cheers, bye.
Keep your stops tight.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know where the wait.